on Steam in early access not too long ago. So before I get started, remember it is early access, so things will change and stuff will improve. This is a roguelike dungeon crawling adventure that I've actually found rather enjoyable, from the standpoint that death is always a progression in roguelike games, of course, and all the experience that you gain as one character actually ends up adding up to this rank number here, and then the rank itself in turn gives you bonuses across your stats in various ways, and then as you rank up, you actually end up transcending under Transcender, and then your character model changes. Plus, all your stats, much more importantly, are totally maxed out and all that. So the skills the skills pretty much never change, and they're always the same to start. There we go. They're always the same to start, but you can get skill points throughout the whole thing that you put into various skills, and yeah, so I'm gonna get started. I think I'm gonna start with the Nightblade since I'm so close to getting him transcendent. He'll also give a pretty decent sense of how this game goes. Anyways, so his whole shtick is that he gets to switch between two sets of weapons, and unlike most classes, he actually starts with a tier in one of his alternate skills. His other alternate skill is to charge forward and gain a few points of armor when he does so, but it only lasts for a second, which is generally long enough to do maybe at one hit, and I just don't have the timing to make that sort of thing work very well. All the gold that I get when I die contributes to that passives pool at the very beginning that you saw. Let's see, I'll put the points into speed. Could possibly be going on. Anyways. As I was saying, the passive skill contributes to all characters, not just the one, not just any one type of character. So it's extraordinarily valuable to get as much gold saved up as you can, and it's interesting because sometimes the stores have really good prices and sometimes they have really shitty prices, and you would think that it would be something like, oh, at the very beginning of the game your prices would be better than they would be much later. But that has not always been the case. I've had, like you saw 300 for Molotov. I don't even know if I'll have much more than that when I end this, so I'm not quite sure why I would bother. Molotov is pretty good though, because of setting enemies on fire is kind of the same thing as poisoning them, and stacking the damage over time isn't bad. So I'm activating these different summoning circles here, and when I activate all of them, I will get a timer during which I have time to escape the level, and then, let's see, I want to put my points into here, so I can get, wow, it's already up to 140. There we go. So I can improve my chakram. I love this thing because it basically just flies around and kills everything. I don't even really have to aim very much with it. There we go. So now you see this little timer. When it finishes, the Redeemer is going to show up. The Redeemer is completely invulnerable, and just being near you sucks up life from your character. So, he's not someone you want to stick around too much, but, wait for him to get summoned, in fact. Alright, so since I have 1,000, I'm actually going to go with the Buckler. And the reason I'm going to go with the Buckler is that, here's the inventory. Items like the Buckler, and you'll basically learn through trial and error, have a, I'll take that. Some of them stack and some of them don't. And that's the Redeemer over there. He'll suck up my life if I get too close. He's completely invulnerable, so no point in messing with him. You can wait around on a level for a little bit after he's summoned. I just wouldn't wait too long. Let's see here. Bonus damage is decent. Magnet is decent. It's a decent price. I'll consider it. I'll probably pick it up at the end. Now, whenever you get into a room like this, I have found that the easiest thing to do is set off all of the boulder traps pro in advance. Because now, when I have to maneuver to try to get away from these skeletons, I don't have to worry about going into any of the corners to get away from them. have a stat point available. I keep putting points into speed. I have found that I really enjoy having a high speed. It caps pretty early. I'm sure you noticed that it was only like 0.3 points into speed. And for certain classes, like say the Necromancer, I think that it may even contribute to the attack speed. Okay. Incidentally, this is a special item. Some games it will let you go to the Forbidden Library, which has its own tile set, enemies, and boss. Sometimes it doesn't. So it's a little bit like, say, Nuclear Throne, in that it has these diversions off of the main path of the game. Anyways, activate another set of these. Right. So, with a class like the Necromancer, who of course summons skeletons, the Necromancer's skeletons seem to attack a bit faster when their speed is increased. I specifically noticed it occurring with an item called Footfinger that says every time you get a critical hit, your speed increases. And that dramatically, obviously, increased not only the movement speed, but the attack speed of skeletons. So it's like a must-have item for Necromancer if you can get it. Alright, so now I've got the silver key, open up the silver chest, and in fact, now you can sort of see there's a ×2 here, so that you know which items stack and which items don't. Now, all of these little white circles on the screen help me keep track of what has and hasn't been activated yet. So let's set up these boulders. There don't seem to be any secret rooms in any of these levels. If there are, I have not figured out how to activate them, which is, you know, fine. As long as you know what you're in for. There's nothing really... You know what? I think I am going to take the Barbarian's Book. It's such a small investment compared to what I already have. Now, with the hammer, I do significantly more damage. I do it a lot slower. Come on. Also, you can knock away projectiles. There's a little bonus every time you act. Ooh. There we go. Anyways, every time that you switch your weapons, 50% chance, one bonus coin. I think that occurs, yeah, just about every time you pick up something. And all this money. I don't need the health, and I don't have any more keys. I do have a stat point. Anyways, I mostly want the speed to go up because when he switches to his hammer form, he slows down quite a bit. So I want to be able to make sure that I can maneuver even if I have to switch weapons. One of the nice things about the hammer, and I know I haven't used it very much, I'll use it on one of these summoning circles, right up and down here. So upgrading the primary attack means that this used to deal like 175 damage, and now it deals 225% damage. So the percentage increase is just so huge that oftentimes just one swing is enough to take out entire swaths of enemies. I tend to like the Chakram because like I'm not even in the room and it's going crazy over there, and oftentimes will just kill everything in the room for no reason. Now the movement speed does cap, and it caps, it feels like kind of low, in my opinion. Certain classes, or well, one specific class, the Thief, for example, has the highest movement speed in the game, which means that his cap is increased. And it's funny because the Archer says that he's the most accurate character in the game, but he's still capped at 100% accuracy just like everybody else. So I don't know what that means or what it does, but, you know, it must mean something. I really want to get Magnet very badly. I know I had the opportunity earlier, but I tend to feel like it's really not all that great unless you get it for free. Because it doesn't do anything aside from, you know, make sure that you don't have to wander around to pick up coins. And frankly, I can do that for free now, so I want to keep getting more passives. And this character was the first character that I tried that I just, like, automatically did ridiculously well as. the fact that I don't really have to focus on like weapon switching, or I get weapon switching, I don't have to put any points into it, and the fact that his other skill, the armor increase, just didn't ever feel that great. Like the duration goes up as you put stat points into it, but ultimately it was not quite. Oh, there we go. It was not quite doing it for me, and it certainly wasn't doing it as much as being able to just throw more and more and more points into, an extra key. More and more points into getting a better damage output for my weapons. Now, part of it is that the Redeemer will not show up as long as you have not finished off the level. I've almost capped out on my speed. So I could just keep doing this pretty much, I think, forever. Like, I haven't tested to see if there really is a limit. But there doesn't seem to be one. However, I don't really see any bonus aside from money and a little bit of experience, which only does so much for you. Ah, foot finger. Excellent. I really like that. It doesn't stack, unfortunately. But that'll be good enough for now. Now I keep destroying a lot of these pieces of dungeon furniture. Obviously a lot of them have money, but some of them, like that glowing piece right there, are traps, and it's really just get rid of them in advance. Don't try to maneuver around them or do anything fancy. Some of them can kill enemies. Boulders don't seem to, which is strange to me. I don't get that at all. They just push enemies out of the way. Forgotten staff. This character doesn't really do much in the way of magic damage, except for, I think when he transforms from hammer to chakram, and that's it. So, I never bother putting any points in, and, you know, if he comes with some, that's fine. I could give a flying... Whoa. Now, note that on this level, there's only 2 summoning circles, so the number is kind of random, as is the overall size of the map. So you do have to be careful, because every once in a while you'll summon the Redeemer way sooner than you thought you were going to, and need to head the hell out and not be prepared for it. Now the golden chests usually have 3 different items in them, and obviously they don't all have to be items, because one of those was another golden key, which will be great. I want to keep opening up golden chests, so having one of those things be a key is fine by me. And I get the impression that this game is a little bit like Binding of Isaac in that sometimes what items say they do either doesn't give you the full story, or it may not be entirely accurate, which I think is kind of fun, being able to pick up the items and figure out what's what as they're going along. So I'm just going to get out of that room. Now they shoot venomous spines, which look like arrows. There we go. Venom is not that bad, and this character naturally has really high defense. So, there we go. I'm just gonna pop that down. Excellent, excellent. Redeemers arrive. Time to get the hell out of here. I think I might have the boss up now. Sure enough. Man, get off that item, you jerk. Now you saw that parry that popped up on the screen. That was a result of... Oh, I need that. That parried piece of information just told me that the attack that hit me was completely negated. Now, I think that status effects can still show up, but other than that, the attack was completely negated. Try to pitifully swing through some of those. Another one bites the dust. This is max health. Healing potions. Ah, a ton of coins. I love that. More coins. Oh, I love the potion of risk either as well. I think it's permanent as well. And yes, bonus damage. No bonus stat points. The stat points seem to come like once a tile set. You get 2 in the first level, and then you get 1 each tile set after. So we just finished the sewers, so we got an additional point that we put into the chakram to bring us from 140 to 170. So ultimately, I put speed up to 203 because I want to be able to dodge out of the way of stuff like that. And let's continue. And this potion of rage I'll definitely use in a minute. Yes, lifesteal. Lifesteal is very handy, even in small quantities. Anything that you can do. That's it. There we go. Anyways, anything that you can do to help your chances of dodging is has been really useful for me, which is part of the reason that Footfinger is so good. Although, like I had mentioned earlier, the Thief is the fastest character in the game, and I'm probably going to end up playing him next just for shits, because I'm starting to appreciate him. Although I might do the Archer, we'll see. Anyways, he is extremely fast. When you put Footfinger on him, he can actually be kind of difficult to maneuver. He ends up going around so fast that oftentimes enemies will... You'll end up dodging into enemies instead of out of the way, especially in smaller rooms. Although, fortunately, that is why he has the invisibility option, which allows him to not only become untargeted by virtue of being invisible. Come on. There we go. He also becomes unhittable, so even if you happen to wander into danger, you can get out of it just by hitting invisibility. I tend to put a lot of points into that, like make sure I get up to about 4 seconds worth of invisibility, and then once I've got that, I will go ahead and do... Whoa. I will go ahead and do all my points into daggers, because the Thief has such pitiful attack damage that anything that you can do that helps that out is a giant boon. See what else we've got. And this is where you really start noticing how much attack damage you've got. And I mean, for a class like this, on-hit effects are somewhat important because the Chakram can hit things multiple times by virtue of bouncing around all over the place like a maniac. But for the most part, you want defensive items when playing this character. Extra health, fine. It's not much, but I'll take it. It's free. I don't need cooldowns, and extra health is kind of whatever. I think I'd rather spend the points on, or the gold I should say, on my passives. Interesting. So earlier we found that Forbidden Library couldn't make use of it, and now we have found a strange tree but can't make use of that either. Could just be sheer poor luck on my part, I suppose, but I feel like that's sort of been the way that it goes, that like you will... There we go. If you can't activate one, you can't activate the other. So, what can you do? This is an unusual level. They tend to be more square. I think this is one of the very few rectangles that I've seen. It's also a bit more open, which is good for me. There we go. Now... Now, you don't actually have to kill these things. If you're low on health and don't have a lot of time, and you want to try to get out of the way and let your health regenerate, or just don't feel like fighting it, you can just run. That's totally an option. She is out for blood right off the bat. She isn't normally this active, actually. I don't even know if that hurts because she's never actually hit me with it. It does definitely block off parts of the screen, so depending on where you are, you will occasionally find that, you know, you can't get past these things. I don't think they hurt, but I haven't been able to get around them. It is possible to get your armor high enough that things like boulders or those arrow traps, or even some enemies just can't deal any damage to you whatsoever. And as a result, I could be totally mistaken, and those things could hurt a ton, and most characters with low defense, and they just don't hurt the hero here because it's incredibly high defense. That's interesting. I've never seen that happen before. Finger. Ooh, I've never gotten that item before. Oh, yes! Now we are gods. This is definitely a great item. I love getting that crown so much. Interestingly enough, the boss that we are approaching, it's not the next boss, it's the boss after, is the boss that I've had the most trouble with in this entire game. And if I had had just a few more hit points in the last playthrough that I did against him, because I got him all the way down to like 1/8 of his total, then I really would have had an excellent chance of defeating him. And now that I have the crown, if I can just hold everything together here, I think I might actually be able to beat the final boss for the first time ever and have that be on camera, which will be excellent. I'll be happy to show that to my boyfriend. I hate it when I do that. I accidentally bought one of the store items, and I also bought one of the store items that was like worse for me. But I also have 9,000 gold, and let's see, in the first level I ended up with 1,000 gold by the end of it, so I'm not too concerned about having spent, I think it was like 400 on that stick. Die. Those creatures really make me laugh because I feel like they're Rastafarian beholders with the dreads and everything. Fortunately, it takes them a second to fire, so when Footfinger goes off, it can really make a big difference. So now we're going to try to run for our lives, get all the way over here with this Potion of Rage. It doubles our damage, so we are largely taking shit out with a single hit. Have I cleared out all of the... I'm missing a summoning circle somewhere. Oh, here it is. Real shame I wasted that rage, but I probably will not have made it over here in time anyways. Alright, so we're up to 10,000, so I don't feel so bad about accidentally spending that money. I won't kick myself too badly for it. I'm going to add some extra points into resistance because I believe the final boss's attacks are magical based, and I really do not want to get wrecked by him if I get hit by an errant shot or two, because you will see he is bullet hell incarnate, and I find him very difficult, although I think I might have found the right location to be to kind of spam that boss a little bit. We will see if they let that stand. Designers of the game. Oh, also, Twitter, there's also Dungeon Souls, and they haven't posted too much yet. I think they're still trying to get the word out about their game and get people let's playing and everything like that, so definitely check them out. I was really kind of disappointed that Twitch did not have a Dungeon Souls option for streaming, and that really just speaks to the fact that they're, like I said, still trying to get the word out. It's a shame though, because it makes it way harder for me to pick up extra viewers. Whoa. Very good about all the damage I've been able to do. Wish I was not getting so many silver keys, because they're not doing me a damn bit of good. not getting that either. Note once again, like I had said earlier, speed really does max out at a certain point. I'm just gonna move around here. Resistance. Now let's finish this all up. All right, we've got everything. I think. Yep, that's all 5, and I don't care about the store, so I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Come on. Yes. The double blade there has a chance to do double damage, or 30% chance to do double damage when you. That is very interesting. I've never seen him use that attack pattern before. Now I love it when he summons these extra guys because they're not dreadfully dangerous to this particular character, and they help me set off Footfinger, which makes me so much more maneuverable. I always feel safer when it's been set off, and I finally have the magnet. Oh, this is the best item ever. I love this thing. It does occasionally summon items upon monster death that don't stack, so that is something to be aware of. It's really unfortunate when that happens, but I'm really not going to complain about free items, because it's also given me items that I didn't even have prior to activating or getting lucky with 4-leaf clover. Can you imagine it's in something like Binding of Isaac, if you had something that every time an enemy died, you just randomly could get an item, even at a small percentage chance like that? It'd be great. Okay. And monsters like that and these flies, I think any of these spherical projectiles that get fired at you, I think they're all magical based, so that's what your resistance stat is specifically for. So, while I probably should have spent a little more time on it, I mostly wanted to make sure that my speed was going to be up to snuff so I could... Oh, shit. There we go. Accidentally clicked off the screen. So that I can dodge out of the way of it. Nothing in here I want. Not going to bother with the money. Just want the golden chest. Magicka. Whatever. Oh, that's interesting. I've never had those both at the same time. Hopefully they'll be worth it. And we still have a spherical, another golden key. It was real fun. At one point I was doing some lifting, and my boyfriend was playing through this. And so he ended up getting so many keys that there were not enough chests anywhere in like over the entire course of the game to open all of them, and he just kept getting more and more keys. And it's really funny. I was like, "What are you complaining about? This, you're clearly set for life." Yeah, I'm not paying for either of those. An idiot. Try to outrun the boulder. Now, you may be wondering if, after a certain level, if my character's armor, because he gains stats, even that ones I don't put points into as he levels up. If he gains armor, why is it that I'm trying to avoid the boulders? Because that one just dealt like 4 points of damage to me. It's mostly because I don't want to get pushed into a situation where I get trapped for a minute and then all of the projectiles hit me. That will get you killed, as I have found that on a few occasions. And I was not able to activate the boulder. Fortunately, it did not matter. The Beating Brain. It is a weird name for an item. Some of these items have some strange names, but it is an excellent ability, especially on the boss that's at the end of this judgment. Right here, in fact. Grab that. You bastard. Go down. You've got to be kidding me. Wait, what? Why is he not dead? Where's his health bar? Oh, it's boss rush. That's interesting and horrible. At least I get them. Did I win? I have never made it this far before. Cool. Greater magic cooldown. Active for laser damage. That laser is not going to do an awful lot. Let's pick up the extra health. Okay. Dark Dungeons. Oh, you loop! Excellent. I'm curious, though. Are monsters really going to be that much more deadly? Because monsters here were not a challenge at all when I was last through. Huh. I may, in fact, well, depends on the price. I'm probably going to be a cheap bastard, but I may actually end up buying some additional things from stores. Only because, whoa. Come on. Just, oh, I see. So even though we are at the beginning point, monsters from any point in the game can get mixed into the fray. That's very nuclear throne. Whoa. I'll just let that go off and do its own thing. I still seem to be pretty much owning everything that I come across, though, so... I wonder if I'm still going to keep getting stat points, because 5 stat points, or sorry, not stat points, skill points. 5 skill points is the most I've ever gotten, and I do not know if there's a level cap. I know I've been level 12 before, maybe 13, but as for an actual level cap, I have no clue. That item I just picked up because I know it was real quick. The item that I just... Oh, I get an extra stat point. 230. Awesome. Was for... that item was called Unicorn Horn. You have a 2% chance to do 999 damage on a hit. Which, let me tell you, is actually ridiculously useful. Excellent. I'm at 100% accuracy. Not that I know that it matters, because the chakram sort of homes, I think. It does have some kind of requirements, I would say, in terms of like when it can turn around and bounce back to you. If you notice, it tends to go in arcs. But sometimes it doesn't have enough space to do the turn. Those bats are really fast now. God damn it. Okay, more silver keys. Fine, fine, fine. Now, I think that, similar to Binding of Isaac and definitely Nuclear Throne and basically any roguelike game that might be in the same category, accomplishing things for the first time will unlock new items in the future. Extra shoes. I am going to go to the Forbidden Library, especially since we didn't get to go the first loop around. But before I do, I want to make sure that I kill all of the enemies. For exactly that reason, I was hoping to get an extra item. And the best way to kill enemies, of course, is to use a summoning circle. So now, beating brain, green meat, I just have so many hit points, I'm not really concerned about that. And truthfully, I actually don't know if